Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel. All right, good afternoon. So, I actually recorded an episode and then it got interrupted, so I had to redo it over. So, this is the redo. This is the remix. So, today is November 29th, and I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Mine was really good. It came out pretty good. The food came out really good. Overall, it was a good time. It was just different because it wasn't like I normally do. Like I usually get to go from house to house, see different people. And I feel like other people said the same thing. Like it just wasn't the same this year. Not as family or, friendly or whatever, like close as it usually is. It was so separated. So, but overall, it was still something to be thankful for, to be able to eat and cook and stuff. And my food came out bomb. So I was excited about that. Made some really good food for myself. And so, overall, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, though. We're about to start into a new month. It's about to be December. This year is going by fast, right? And, now it's almost holiday time. So, getting ready for Christmas and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, probably not getting anybody a gift. Just because I don't know. I don't see it happening. I mean, possibly, but I just don't see that in the makings. But hey, anything's possible, right? But anyway, I hope that you guys had a great holiday, getting ready for December, new month, new beginnings, new chapters, next level of this 2020 game. See what happens next month, right? The grand finale. Dun, 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 dun. So, these episodes that I've been doing before, I feel like they've been a lot of positive and information about how to just keep your head up during this year. And I really hope they have been helpful to you guys. But I want to talk about some other topics and get more personal, get in my business, because I feel like I kind of left you guys on a cliffhanger. Actually, well, I'm not going to take the credit for that. Someone, a listener, she messaged me and said that she really liked the episode, but she wanted to know what happened with my dating life and how some more personal information that I kind of left cliffhanger sort of with. So I'm going to talk about dating for me personally, what that's been like, and then I'm going to have some guests for next week and to talk about relationships, dating, sex, stuff like that. So we'll get into that. But this one I want to do this episode kind of I always try to do that, an introduction episode before I do an interview or a talk. Because I wouldn't even say this is going to be an interview. This is going to be more like a discussion with two good friends of mine who agreed to add their insight to some topics that I want to talk about. So we'll do that next week. So excited for that. And so I'm going to talk about relationships for me and dating and what it's been like. So actually I saw a tweet that resonated with what I want to talk about. And it's from a guy, I don't know him, but he said, to be honest, dating and settling down shouldn't be this hard or difficult to do. And I definitely agree with what he's saying. Right now, for some people, it's hard. It's hard to find someone to settle down with, if that's your goal, to settle down. And I think that that's an interesting thing to explore, because I think that a lot of the times, everyone, men and women, we, as an individual, you're like, oh, I'm great. So it's just finding somebody else who's worth my time, right? And that might be true. I'm sure you are great. I'm sure we are great. But there's always room for improvement, and there's always things that can be changed or improved about you to be able to find that person. And a good question is like, what do you bring to the table? And when someone's asking that, your thoughts shouldn't be, well, I have a job and I have a car. Okay, well, welcome to adulthood. Like, you're supposed to have those things regardless, right? So that's not what should be the idea of answering that question. It's more like, who are you as a person? What type of man are you? What type of woman are you? Are you a liar? Are you a schemer? Are you honest? Are you loving? Are you actually emotionally available? Do you have the emotional intelligence to be in a relationship? Like, those are things that you should be exploring about yourself if you're single, trying to go out and date and find someone to settle down with, right? Because no one's going to be perfect, and no one should expect you to come perfect. But you should have certain things about you that are together, or at least that you're working on. And in my opinion, I think one of the main things that is important for a man or a woman before they start dating is, please be like emotionally available. There's nothing more disappointing than to be into a guy, and I'm talking from my perspective, that, he might look great and you might have great conversation, yada, yada, but emotionally he's just not available. And maybe that works for some people, but not for me, So, and that's why I had to take time to explore, like, okay, what exactly do you bring to the table yourself? Like, are you emotionally available as well? Because sometimes, and it's a hard pill to swallow. Like, you see on Instagram or whatever, sometimes on social media, like, you attract what you are. So it's easy to highlight it in someone else, but like, make sure you're not that same person. You know what I mean? Like, because I had to do that. Like, after experiencing a relationship with someone who things that just didn't work out, and there were certain things that I was able to highlight about that person, but going to therapy, I was able to see that, that person was actually mirroring a lot of things in myself that I had to fix. So, and one of them was emotional availability and vulnerability. And so I think that sometimes when it comes to relationships, it's so easy to be like, oh, this person, they were trash and they did me dirty, so whatever, and now I'm gonna find someone better than you. But it's just like, yeah, obviously go better, go higher, don't go lower. But just make sure that when you're doing this dating and like relationships and stuff, that you're taking the time to grow yourself and like explore some things about you that need to be I wouldn't say changed. I can say some improvements that you can make for yourself too, because there's always room for improvement, right? So getting into the topic, right? And forgive me, because my memory is not so bueno. I don't even really remember if I read off the quote, but here it is again. To be honest, dating and settling down shouldn't be this hard or difficult to do. So this is a tweet that I saw a guy post, and automatically I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I definitely understand what he's talking about with that, right? Because dating shouldn't be this hard. Settling down with someone shouldn't be that hard. But it's, for some people, it is hard. It is hard today for various reasons, whether it be just finding that person to settle down with, or maybe you can't find someone who's worth, in your mind, to date, right? Maybe they're not cute enough. Maybe they're not smart enough. Maybe they're just not driven enough, or whatever. The pickings are not to your liking, I've had discussions with many women, and I can be honest, but not many guys I've talked to about it, but I know a lot of women who feel like the pickings are slim to none, and it's looking like Pride Rock out here, from Lion King. When Scar took over, and it was like, it wasn't no meat, nothing, like there was nothing to eat out, and there were like bones and stuff. Like, that's what it's looking like for some people, and that just makes me sad, because it's just like, that's not how it's intended to be. Dating should be fun, and there should be so many pickings to choose from that, it's like, like they used to say, like, men, or probably the same thing for women too. Like, men and women are like buses. When you miss one, the next one's coming in like a couple minutes. Like, there's always gonna be somebody else. There's always, if that doesn't work, then there's somebody else, or 5 more, whatever. Or like when one door closes, another 4 open, or something like that. Like there's always other people. But unfortunately, I feel like sometimes right now that's just not the case for some people. And that's interesting because there is a large population of people on this earth, right? So it's just making sure you take the time to date and like find that person for you, like my mom will say this all the time. She always says, like, when there's dating, like, she's like, there's an ass for every seat, or something like that, or something like that, right? So there's somebody for everyone. So it's just, you gotta keep going until you find that person. And that's an important thing. It's like, some people, they give up. Like, you get to a point where you're just like, oh, I've been hurt this so many times, and you just like, forget it. And hey, whatever. I respect it either way. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But if your goal is to really end up being in love and getting married and finding that person, then you're going to have to keep going. It's just the reality of it. And you have to tweak it up a little bit. Like, tweak it up. If you usually do it this way and it hasn't been working, then maybe be a little open to do something else, So, as far as like my personal experience with dating, I think the last time I left off, I said that I had really, what did I say to you guys? I think I was going through a period where I was single, and then I had finally, like, when I made the first episode for the podcast, I had finally like settled into my place, and it was about to be COVID, so, but I was at a point where I was open to dating and like getting out there and being able to date. But then COVID hit, so that didn't really transpire as much as I would have liked it to. I mean, I was still talking to some people, but it wasn't like I wanted to. Like, I wanted to be able to like go on dates, like, for maybe not every night, but like go on dates with multiple people, really create a roster, and just enjoy my time until that one person makes you feel like, okay, I don't want to have a roster anymore, I want to just be with this person. So, but that didn't work out because of COVID, so I wasn't able to meet multiple guys and go on dates and stuff like that. But I was dating some people that just happened timing wise, was able to make it work before COVID. So, and right now I'm not even really dating. I have people that I talk to, that it just works, like we just have a connection and it's growing, but there's nothing is solidified or anything like that. And I'm honestly not even really pressed on that, because it's more or less like, yeah, I know what I want. It's just I've learned to kind of step back and allow divine timing to do its thing, the universe to do its thing, because the person that's going to be for you, the universe is not going to let that person not be there for you, if that makes any sense. Like, that the universe is literally going to push you two together if you're supposed to be together. So your person and your timing will come when it's supposed to. So in the meantime, you're supposed to just enjoy yourself, right? Enjoy the connections that you are able to create and what it can teach you. So I plan to do this episode on my personal experience, but then I'm going to do a 2-part segment with some friends about their experiences with dating and sex and stuff like that, and what that means for women our age today in 2020, Black women. So about myself, like I said, I'm talking to people, and I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say I'm talking to people, because I'm not. There are specific people that I have a connection with and are growing that connection and seeing where that goes. And I'm chilling right now. That's the best way to say it. Like, I'm chilling right now because I'm really not there. I have my moments when I'm just like, oh, like I'm just tired of this. I'm just ready to be where I want to be. But then for the most part, I'm just like, it is what it is. Like, what's going to happen is going to happen. I want that relationship to come to me in the right time. And it's tough right now. 2020 is the timing right now, the way things are, it's just tough. So for an actual relationship to come to fruition, not saying it's impossible, but there are a lot of barriers that are present right now in the world that make it a little bit tough, right? So learning to be patient with yourself and patient with others is definitely key right now when it comes to dating. So, but it's still possible, and I still push for that to, go for what you want, because we don't know when this stuff is going to end. So I'm not having that mindset of like, oh, well, when 2020 is over, I'll get back out there. Like, no, like, just figure out a way around it, adjust. Go for what you want. Definitely with that. So when it comes to dating, I think that it's definitely an interesting thing to do nowadays, because there are so many different avenues of dating. Like, there's so many apps and the ways that people connect and hook up with people, and it's just like you really have to just do what works for you. That's the best thing I can say. is make sure you stay true to you. And if someone you connect with them, but then they start doing something that you don't like or whatever, or it's just that connection is no longer aligning for you, be okay with not continuing on with it, or at least sticking up for yourself and saying what you want and what you need. And I think that someone actually made a really good point under that Twitter post that I read about dating and settling down, how hard it can be, how it shouldn't be this hard, is that also people need to explore the idea of not expecting like a prepackaged person. And when I say that, like, excuse me, as a woman, like, if you want a man who has all this checklist, right? And like, we have to be open-minded in the sense of like, yeah, it's definitely, anything is possible, right? You might meet a man that has the car, he has the house, he has the job, he has the height or whatever, and just like maybe he doesn't have some other things on the list, and like taking that time to like evaluate, like, do I continue with this person or continue to even pursue this person, or because they don't have everything I want, then they're not for me. Because I think that can be, having that mindset can be a negative and a positive, because you might not find that person that is completely packaged how you need it to be. Maybe your path is to meet that person that he wants those things, or she wants the things that you're looking for in a significant other, but they might need someone like you to come into their life to help them get the rest, if that makes any sense, right? Like, all right, maybe you meet a guy and he's really good looking. He has the beard, he has the height, he has the right skin tone, his lips are popping, like, body is great, and he's funny and he can communicate pretty well, but maybe he's not at his career height yet, or he's not where he needs to be in his career. Or maybe he's working on trying to get a house or something like that. And it's just like, at that, like, do you walk away from that because he doesn't have all those things? Or do you step in like as, I don't even say support system, like as that connection to help him, and not even say help him, like that you serve as that connection that influences him to get to the rest of what he's trying to do, right? Because ultimately, maybe as long as the things that he's trying to do align with what you want in a man, then why is it not okay for you to work with him in that sense? And men too, like, I feel like a lot of men want a woman to come pre-packaged, and it's just like, just because this woman doesn't have all these things doesn't mean that they can't get there. And it's just like, what and again, you have to do what works for you. But just having that open mind, I would say, having an open mind. I think that's definitely important. Like, my mom, I had a talk with her recently, and she definitely sparked some like stuff in my head about like that with the open mind thing, because I was telling her, like, I just want to have these things, and why can't I find this person? Or, you know, I have these things that I want, and why is it so difficult? Why is it taking so long, or something like that? And she definitely made some good points. Like, you have to, what did she say? She was like, you have to relax your heart and open your mind and be accepting. And that's important because, you know, excuse me, relaxing your heart is important to allow yourself to not be like focused on, okay, I gotta fall in love with this person or blah, blah, blah. Like, just really learning to enjoy, excuse me, the connections that you make, and opening your mind that maybe that person that's gonna be for you, they might not be what you're looking for as far as like physical attraction, or like they might be the physical attraction of what you're looking for, but maybe them meeting you and having you in their life will allow them to learn how to be emotionally where you need them to be, or, you know, that career or something. Like, there's certain things on the checklist that they might not have it all, but God putting you in their life will allow them to get there. And it's just like, are you that type of person that's going to be open to be with that person along their journey to get to where you need them to be? Or are you someone who's just so like, okay, if you don't have everything, then forget you, next, you know? And I'm not saying that being like that is bad, because I think that works, definitely process of elimination in certain instances, but also just being open-minded to the pickings that are available. But also still having boundaries and having standards, and not being willing to let go of your standards to settle. That's when you're settling. When you shortchange yourself and say, okay, if you say, all right, I don't want a guy, or I don't want a woman who already has kids, but you meet this person and they, you know, they're a great connection and they have a kid, but it's just like, if you know in your heart that is something that you really, really, really can't get with, then don't force yourself into that, you know? Like, if that person, maybe they're great, but that's just not for you. So just being able to be open, but don't settle. Don't be open, but don't be so open that you just accept anything, you know? I know that sometimes time can really get to people, and it makes you feel like, all right, forget it. Maybe I should just knock that off the list. Maybe I can accept that. Like, no, like, stick to what's going to make you happy. Especially, like, I feel like if you waited this long, then you might as well stick to what it is and wait till the right person comes along, right? And in the meantime, just have fun, enjoy yourself, enjoy your time, and but still being open-minded. So as far as like for myself, I'm chilling right now. Like, I meet people and I either connect with them or I don't. But I'm very much become, I'm not gonna say no nonsense, but I really have to connect with someone on various levels before I even invest any form of time into this person, because I just don't feel the need to do that. I'm content just not chilling by myself, but I'm content where I'm at. Obviously, it would be great to be able to share with someone, but at the same time, I'm good with what I've been doing right now. And yes, I have been spending my time with someone, and we connect really well, you know, on various levels. But it's just I'm learning to take my time and really not stress over a relationship or anything like that, and just really like and just enjoying the connection and seeing what can become of it. Because I feel that people come into your life for various reasons, and sometimes it just takes time to really see what you can get out of the connection, right? So, and at the same time, it's hard right now. It's hard dating because of COVID, because of the restrictions that there are. Excuse me. And I think personally, before COVID, it was already off, like dating, you know? And again, it depends on what works for you. Some people use dating apps. Some people are against that. So if you're not with a dating app, it's going to be hard because how are you meeting people? You know? And again, not saying that you need to change that, but just being open to things. If you really like, I guess the best way to say is like, if you really want it, you're going to have to be open to different things to get to there, to where you're trying to get. You know, if you want to get married one day and have kids, your husband, it's funny. Actually, I heard on another podcast, like another girl, she didn't really go out like that, but she wants to get married. She wants to have kids. And her friend's like, well, what do you think? That the guy's just going to come knock on your door and just show up? Like, you're going to have to get out, and you can't just, and it's funny because her friend was like, okay, well, I went out and I didn't meet anybody. And that's why I used to be like that too. Like, all right, I went out 1 or 2 times. I didn't meet anybody. So there's nobody out there for me. Like, no, you can't be like that. You have to continuously just be open. Excuse me. And you have to be, I had to change my mindset of like, okay, every time I'm going out, I can't be like, all right, this is the time I'm going to meet somebody, you know, like, cause sometimes you're not going to be anybody and sometimes you're going to rack them in, you know? So you just have to really change your mindset about what you're looking for, as far as like, enjoy your time. And if you meet somebody, that's great. If you don't, you still enjoy your time, because you have the time, and don't rush yourself to hurry up and settle down. You know, I rather just date and enjoy someone's time and see if, you know, if we both feel the connection is worth growing into something, than to like just get with someone because they say they want to get married too. But, you know, just because they want to get married doesn't mean that they're the one for you. You know, like, you can meet somebody who's really, all right, they look great on paper, but inside they're trash, or inside there's nothing there, you know, like, just making sure you really take the time to get to know people. Like, don't be so quick to establish a relationship. And, you know, I feel like sometimes it's like, we have this idea of like, we don't want to waste our time. But like, okay, think of it like this. And I've experienced it. That's why I'm saying it. You meet somebody and you connect, right? And you have a conversation. You want to get married, they want to get married. You have your career goals, they have their career goals. They have certain things that you're looking for, and you have the certain things that they're looking for. So you're like, great, this person's great for me, right? And then, you know, time goes on. Maybe you meet friends and whatever, and then, you know, now you're in a relationship, right? But then that has only been a couple of months, right? And you're still like in the honeymoon. Oh, this person's the best thing ever, you know? Or wow, we really connect. We're really great for each other. But then like a couple months later, you're like, hold up. Why are you acting like this? Like, you know, like then you really get to see this person. And now you're in a relationship with this person. So your time is invested, and you start thinking about, dang, like, you know, so it's just like, and maybe if that doesn't work out, then yeah, there's no love lost, there's no time lost, right? You can't waste time. There's always a lesson to be had. I guess my point is to just make sure that you're giving yourself time to really get to know people when it comes to dating, and giving yourself, be patient with yourself. Like, you're not gonna be perfect. The person that is for you is not going to be perfect. That's the point, is that you come into each other's lives and you make a perfect union. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. Like, that's just making sure that you're not settling, that you're getting what you deserve, and that you're having fun, and that this person really cares about you, and they want the best for you, and vice versa, and that you go through willing to put in the work to get the ultimate goal. That's the important thing. And when it comes to dating, like, not trying to stress yourself out about where you should be or what it's supposed to be like, and really just like being open-minded, you know, and enjoying your time and enjoying the company of other people and learning from them. Please, like, for me personally, if I can't learn anything from you, then that's an automatic no, because I need to be able to learn from you, and I need to be able to be free to teach you stuff too. So that's where the maturity, the various forms of maturity come in too, right? Emotional maturity and vulnerability. Like, for me, those are two things. A man who is emotionally mature and vulnerable and willing to dive in, and who's spiritually open to growth, that's like a perfect a perfect person right there for me. That's like some of the factors for, what would work for me, because that's what I'm doing for myself, right? Again, alignment, making sure that you're aligning yourself with people that work for you. So I probably didn't really dive in too much into the dating of myself yet with this episode, but it definitely was an opening episode of what I'm going to talk about for the next episode, which will be the interview, discussion with other women about their dating. And that's where I'm going to dive into more about my personal stuff too. I just don't want to have a whole rant about, hey, this is what I'm doing, like I'm gonna tell you, but I'm not gonna tell you, because it's just it makes more sense. You just trust me on that. When I go to the next episode, you'll get to have more diving. But so, and to wrap it up or just summarize, I am technically dating, but at the same time I'm not dating, if that makes any sense, because I'm not dating I'm not going out on dates, I'm just not doing that. And I've gotten to a point where, again, I really it needs to be more than just, oh, he's cute. Okay, what's your mind like? And even still, just even if your mind is great, are you sparking something in me to say, okay, I want to get to know this person more. I want to spend my time with this person. I want to dive into this person, I want to open up, because for me, it's very important. If I can't be open with you and I can't be free and I don't feel comfortable being free with you, then there's no point. Not saying we can't be cool, but there's no point in exploring anything further with you, for me personally. But I guess in conclusion, I also want to say, women and men right now who are single and who are feeling if you feel like you're in Pride Rock and the pickings are slim, just keep going, because you will. There's my mom used to say, she says it all the time, there's an ass for every seat, and the person for you will come to you. Just keep that. Don't close yourself off. That's when you're not going to get the person. If you say oh, there's nobody for me, or if you're saying it, then you're manifesting that. Then there's going to be nobody for you. So there is somebody for you. It's just you haven't gotten there yet, and you just got to keep going. And maybe because maybe you need to open yourself up a little bit more. Maybe you need to be a little bit more open-minded, and that's when the universe is going to bring that person to you. So just remain open-minded. Remain humble, remain true to yourself, and just being open to exploring new things, doing things differently too, tweak it up a little bit. Sometimes, if you're somebody, I never want to use a dating app, but hey, you know what? You can't go anywhere. You can't meet any people. So maybe, try it if the dating app, but obviously be safe. Or, if you're somebody, if you got friends, maybe they can introduce you to somebody, or, join a book club or something. I don't know. Join something that's going to allow you to meet people, to meet that person. And also don't have this mindset of okay, when you go out, okay, I want to see, maybe I'll meet somebody that. Just go out more so to enjoy your time. And I'm telling you, man, from a man's perspective and a woman's perspective, if you see someone who's literally just enjoying themselves at something, or they're just happy and their aura is just very oh, that person looks like they're having a good time, or they're doing good. That's what's going to attract someone. Not when you sitting there somber or whatever, or you looking for someone and you feel okay, well, this was a waste of time coming here because I didn't meet anybody. You're going to attract what you are. So if you're happy and you're content with your life and you're just living life and doing you're going to attract people, you're going to attract that guy, you're going to attract that woman, because they're going to be dang, he's popping or she's popping right now. Not because of what they look like or nothing, but it's just okay, you having a good day, you laughing and whatever. What you laughing about? What's going on over here? That's gonna attract the person, and get your roster up. You can have multiple people that you talk to. You're not married. You're not. Unless you're in a committed relationship, then that's different. But if you're not, you then just enjoy your life. You might have your funny friend. You might have your friend that you talk to this about, or you guys connect on this about. So until you find that right person that's going to have, majority of the things that you're looking for, it's okay to get to know other people, because that's how you get to know what you don't like also. Because you might meet somebody who is looking how you want them to look, right? That's how the guy, like, oh, the guy with the beard and the height and the physique and the lips and whatever. But like when you get to know him, you're like, oh, that's what you're about. Like, so just making sure you're open, being open. And I'm speaking to myself too when I'm talking about this stuff. It's not just to you guys, but just being open to meeting different people that look different, are different in general, and what can that do for you. And, you know, you might end up, like I said, you might end up meeting the most perfect person for you, but they're not going to look like anything that you thought. So just being open to that and making sure out of anything that you're always being respected, taken care of, and that you're getting what you deserve. Because that's going to be important to your happiness, making sure you're happy. And also, like, you see a lot, if you know how to make yourself happy and you know how to treat yourself to keep yourself happy, then you're going to that's how you're going to teach the other person how to treat you, you know? So just making sure that you're open, that you're enjoying yourself, you're having fun, taking care of yourself, and the right person will come. I promise, like, the right person will come at the right time. This is a weird time right now anyway. So just enjoying the connections that you do have, because that's what I'm doing. Like, I enjoy the connections that I do have with certain people, and we always have a great time together. We talk about random stuff. I know I can talk to this guy about random stuff, and we genuinely enjoy each other's company, and it's fun. It's fun, and I would have thought I would have been like this right now, because that's just not how I was. Like, I was always like, okay, I gotta be this and that. Like, I was in that Virgo mode of like, okay, this person should be like this right now, or things should be like this. And if anything, 2020 has definitely taught me to just not necessarily go with the flow, but just being open. I think that's the lesson here, is just being open with dating. Please be open, because you just gotta be, and trust the process. Trust God that God will bring you the person. You will know, like, you know, like, because you won't be able to get rid of that person, you know, like, or, you know, it's gonna spark something in you to open up again. And sometimes you meet someone who you think that's who you want, but that's the person that's gonna spark you to become open, to be more open for when you meet the other person that you think, oh, I don't want nothing to do with that person. That might be the person for you, you know? So just allowing yourself to meet people and allow people, it doesn't have to automatically be a romantic relationship. It could just be, dang, like, this person really connects with me, and I could see myself, you know, with this person or with other people now, you know, like, just being able to, don't close your heart off, don't close your mind off to the possibility of things coming to fruition for you, because it will. If you want it, you know, if God put that in your heart, then that's what you're going to get. It's just being patient with yourself, patient with the universe, patient with other people. Be patient with other people too, because I know just as much as, you know, we want people to be patient with us, you have to be patient with other people too, and be willing to, like, be that source in someone's life to allow them to grow. That's definitely something for me personally. I want someone who's going to be growing too, because I want to be growing. So I hope that I really made some sense with this episode, but I know that the next ones are going to be great. It's going to be funny. It's going to be, you know, girl talk. It's going to be some good stuff, because we're talking about relationships, we're talking about sex, we're talking about life, you know, as women. So I hope that this, you know, did something for you, you know, some information about me, but I'm definitely going to dive in more on the next episodes, and I hope you guys have a great week. Take care of yourselves, and thank you for listening to Black Hippie Lounge. This is your host, Chanel. Meditate, manifest, invest in you.